Hey, YouTube, welcome back. Shy the Barber. I'm back on YouTube. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. And I'm back at y'all with the haircut video. I'm going to narrate this myself, right? So, boom, what we got here? We got a mid fade, okay? Open, clippers, all the way open. You see, I got my walls. Y'all know I love them wall clippers. Got my wall designers all the way open, making my line of demarcation and trying to get him all the way right. He get the mid fade because he's in the military too. So by him being in the military, he kind of feel like he need to wear the fade. You know, he could get an even cut, but he don't like how his head shape is. So, as you see that scar right there, that's due to a drunk driver. He got hit by a drunk driver. And, a constant reminder every time I see it, because, I drink too, is, you don't want to be out here. You got to be careful when you're drinking and driving because you could easily think you're okay and be a lot, worse off than you think you are. So you got to be careful out here. Y'all got to be responsible when you're drinking, So right now I got my 1.5 guard going with the grain, taking down the bulk. See, at this point right here, right, you gotta look at it. What I'm doing right now, right, is you see me taking down the bulk. The first part when I was going with the grain, right, that was really like me blending the top part of the hair, right, with the sides. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm starting to take it down to where I can start the actual fade. But the beginning part was me blending the top part of the hair, right, with the sides. All right? That's what that is, okay? When I go against the grain, that's me going right into the fade. As you see right now, I got the one guard on there all the way closed, getting into the fade. You see it's already starting to blend in now. Already. Got my comb, flick. At the bottom, see what I'm doing? At the bottom, you can't see my elbow right there. It's kind of hard to record and cut, so y'all gotta please forgive me for that. But you see as I'm going a little, probably halfway up just to, extend the fade out a little bit, right? Guard gone, all the way open, right there at the line of demarcation. See, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like bumping the line. I'm just bumping the line a little bit. I'm not really going all the way in on the fade. I'm really just bumping that line just to get that line out because pretty much the one guard took the bulk down to where now all I got to do is just bump that line out. And once again, I do apologize for the times where my arm get in the way and the ashiness of my elbow. I really feel like I disrespected y'all by having an ashy elbow, and I'm sorry for that. But and like I say, the way I had to set my camera up, to do this recording, it was kind of difficult to, get into the fade and stay out of the way because, if you're a barber and you ever record, you understand what I'm saying. So sorry you guys couldn't really see it. So what I do is basically try to help you, talk you through it so you know. Same thing I did with the guard off, I'm doing with the guard on, right? I'm just bumping the line, right? Now cleaning it up with the grain, clean it up, smooth it out. As you see, it's some patchy spots in there, right? Where it's more bulk than expected. So what I'm going to do is just use the corner of my clipper and attack those spots where it's more hair than needed, just to blend it in. All right. As you see, I done took the guard off, and this is just touching up real quick, just to make sure everything is good for a second. I'm just cleaning it up. I like to put a light little taper on the line within the fade, kind of make it look a little cleaner. So it's still kind of like a taper on the back and the sides. Using the corner of my, excuse me, I had to sneeze, I'm sorry. Using the corner of my clippers just to clean up some of the spots, move around to the head. Now, one thing I always do is I like to put a soft line on there, a little line on there, just so I can kind of see the fade better, because when you fade in hair, right, you can kind of like get caught in a trance, and you just, the angle that you're looking at it, you think it's okay. So you put a line on it. It's a little, I don't know about, too many people know about this little move right here, but you put a soft line on it, just a little line on it, just so you can see it in a finished product type of way, right? It's not all the way clean. You're just putting a little line on there just so you can kind of get an idea of what it looked like when it's done, right? So, and it helps you see any imperfections within the fade. So y'all might want to try that one day, you know. Pulling the skin and gliding, you know, letting the clipper do the work. Not trying to overwork, just let the clipper do the work. Right around the ear. And just for some people, you know, I just do these videos because I do have a level of knowledge that I'm willing to share. You know, I know there's some people out there that's trying to learn and probably can't afford school, or school's not teaching you the proper way, you know. So here I go. I'm here to help, you know. I just want to help you guys out. Once again, same step, nothing changed, all right? Comb the hair in the direction it needs to go, right? Same step. Put your 1.5 guard, blending the top with the sides. Blending the top with the sides. Remember that, because that's going to make your fade look clean when you blend the top with the sides. Now I go against the grain just to start taking that bulk all the way down. You see how the top and the sides, right there off the back of the head, it just blends right in, right? And then you don't want to overdo the fade. You don't want to overdo it, so don't go too high. Now you're just going to match up the left side with the middle. We already know what we're doing. We already know what we're doing. What we got? 1 guard, all the way closed. Let's go. Halfway up. Halfway up. You make a little lightweight line in there. We're not going to worry about that because we're going to take it out. All the way open. All the way closed. Right there, you're just going to flip back and forth between open and close, open and close. And as you see, I like to use that corner cutting too. Use that corner cutting. Look at us. Look at us go. Look at us go. You see us? Line going. That's the part you couldn't see. That's the part you couldn't see when I had my elbow in the way. But just those steps right there, if you can rewind back and look at that spot right there, right there in the back of the head, that's all I did throughout the whole haircut. That's all I did throughout the whole haircut. So you can rewind that back and look at it again, and you'll see the steps, and you can use those same steps. Use those same steps to complete the fade. Cleaning up the neck, still going back and forth between open and close. Swinging them around. At this point, you know how the haircut going to look. At this point, you already know how it's going to look. So now you just getting around here, and at this point, it's just getting it done. Because you already pretty much finished. This is a 3-section cut. Some barbers like to go all the way around the head and pretty much do the whole fade. Some barbers like to do half and then come back and do the other half. Sometimes I do half and then come back and do the other half. I rarely do a fade where I just go around the whole head and fade the whole head at one time. I rarely do that. I honestly, I don't particularly, I don't like that. I don't like it. I just don't think it'd help me give out the cleanest fade. I like the finished part of it so I can see what it's looking like. That way I know what I'm going for. Because once I see what it's looking like, I can just cruise right through it from that point forward. Because I know what I'm looking for. Same thing. Same steps. Nothing changed. Excuse me. Nothing changed. Same steps. Right? Come back with your one guard against the grain. Just bumping that line out. Bump the line out. You don't got to do too much. Let the clippers do the work. Okay? Let them do what they're designed to do. Right? Now, see, on this right side, this is his accident side. So it's a little different. All right? You see the scar right there at the temple right there, his head kind of dents in a little bit because he had a lot of head trauma due to his accident. I personally like him as a hair model because he has difficulties within his hair. And sometimes a lot of barbers will get on here and they'll give you the best head they could find, right? And then you'll go to your shop and you'll get the cutting and you'll be wondering why you can't do what they do, even if you use their steps. What I'm doing here is I'm showing you someone who has difficult hair. Well, he don't have difficult hair, but he has difficulties within his head because of his accident, right? On this right side, you see he have the scar, right? By the temple, his head dents in a little bit. It's a dent right there, okay? So you got to kind of learn how to work around the imperfections of your client's head, right? So right now, I'm just going back and forth, same steps, nothing changed. Just going back and forth, taking down the bolt, making sure it's smooth. I'm gonna throw a little monkey wrench in here real quick for a lot of barbers or new barbers, because you need to see this. This is the main reason why, if you're going to cut your client's hair down, right, you want to do that before you start fading. Do not wait until the end of the fade and then say, oh, let me cut it down. Sometimes a client might hit you with that, be like, oh, can you cut the top down? But the reason why you want to do it beforehand is because if you don't, you will end up cutting that head twice. Because you cut the hair to match the top of the head. But once you cut that head down, the hair down on the top, it's going to give the fade a whole nother look, right? So once again, what I'm going to do now is put a soft little line on there, and just so I can see the fade, make sure it's okay, make sure everything is lined up right, make sure everything looking good. So you put a little line on it. That's my 3-point cut. I call that a jab, jab, hook. Rewind that. It's a jab right there at the temple peak point, a jab right there by the sideburn, and a hook right there in the curve. Nice little combination. You know, you catch him with a jab, jab, hook, you see what it's doing. You're gonna go down. That's if you catch him. That's just a boxing reference. You know, I like boxing. All right, here we go. What's next? We check it out, spin them around, look around. You got to look at it from different angles. Switch your angle. Stand back. Lift the chair up. Spin them around. Looking at different angles, right? Spin them slow. Look from behind the head. Look from in front of the head. Check your angles, because every part of that head is going to show you something different. Every time you spin them around, it's going to show you something different. So you want to make sure that you check them out on every angle. Spin them around. Take your time. You're not in a rush. If you do the steps properly, you can get this haircut done in 30 minutes or less. Some barbers are a little faster than others, but you can get this haircut done in 30 minutes. See, now I want to go in and I decide I want to cut the top down. And I want you to see what I'm saying when I tell you you want to cut the top down first before you start fading, because it'll make you have to cut the hair all over again. You got to go over it and pretty much give them a whole nother haircut. So what I'm going to do now is, right now his hair is pretty high, as you can see. But I'm going to cut it down. I believe it's going to go down to about a 4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to about a 4. Now watch how, y'all saw the cut, right? Now watch how the cut changed after I cut the top down. You see, the only thing I did was cut the top down. This is why you want to cut the top down first before you fade. And he has a lot of hair, and his hair is thick. You see how thick it is. Cross every angle. You want to, that's how you get it even. That's how you get the cut even when you got a guard on and you cutting like that. You want to go through different angles. Use your angles. Use your angles. Don't be scared to use your angles. You got the guard on, but you got to get it even. Now you see how the fade doesn't look as crispy anymore? You see how choppy it looks now? That's because I didn't cut it down first. So now what I got to do is I got to go over the fade again just to make sure it blends in properly now. Now, honestly, I can't even tell you why that happens. I don't even know why that happens. I can't even tell you why. I just know it happens. So, like I say, I've been cutting hair for quite a while, and every time that, I've done that, cut the hair in that fashion, it's been the same way. So, as you see, I got my 2 guard, and it's simple, same thing. This is blending, all right? This is the difference between fading and blending. I'm just blending the hair in. That's all I'm doing. That's it. I'm just blending it in. Breaking it down. You see I started the 2 down to the 1.5, right? Remember where we started at. And you see how much hair was coming off of the head, right? Versus when I first started. You see what I'm saying? That's why you want to cut the hair on the top first before you start fading. Save yourself some time. Now I just need to blend it in. Make it all match, make it all even, make it all clean. Make it all clean. Now you gotta remember the angle of the camera, right, will give you a different look as well. But you'll see when I spin them around. You'll see when we spin them. Same thing. Finding the grade. You always want to find the direction of the hair first. Before you start cutting, find out which way the hair go and start there. Don't start with going against the grain. Always give yourself room. Here's a gem for y'all. When you're cutting hair, right? I don't care how good you are, you're going to make a mistake. Doesn't matter how long you've been cutting, doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to make a mistake, right? You always want to give yourself room to correct your mistake. See, it's nothing wrong with making a mistake. It's only something wrong when you can't fix it. So if you're going to make a mistake that you can fix, right? And the best way to do that is giving yourself room. Start with higher guards. Start off with your higher guards. Then break it down. All right? Start with your higher guards. Then break it down to whatever level you need to go to. Okay? That's how, if you make a mistake, you leave yourself room to be able to fix it. And that's just one way. As you see, I'm blending it in. You see the difference now after you finish blending it. Catching a little bit of weight off of there. See, right now I'm just detailing it, blending it in, and making sure that it all flows properly. You see, I keep spinning the chair. The reason why I'm spinning the chair at the same time is because I'm checking it out. I'm checking the cut out. I'm looking at the cut. I'm spinning the chair. I'm looking at it from different angles. Look at it from all different angles. Don't just look at the cut from the straight view that you fading it from. Spin the chair, step back from it. You know, step back and look. Right now I got my other wall magic clips, right? I personally am a big fan of wall. Um, you know, in the comment, man, let me know what clippers you got that's your favorite pair of clippers. But me personally, wall designers are my favorite. I fade with them all day, every day. All day, every day. Like I really do. I got a lot of clippers. And you know, like I have a lot of clippers, but I don't even use them. As long as I got my wall, I'm straight. You know, on my arm, I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo, and it's a pair of masters. But the only reason why I got a pair of masters was because I was able to personalize it and put my grandfather's name within it. And at the time I couldn't really see how I could do it with a pair of wall. But I do regret not getting a pair of walls instead of a masters, you know, because I actually use wall and not master. Now what I'm doing right now, of course, you see me shaping the top, just going over it, evening it up, making sure it's even. His hair is going to get sponged. I'm a sponge his hair, but so it's not to be. I'm not really worried about making it perfect. I think I was overdoing it at this point, and I think it was because of the sake of the video. I probably was overdoing it a little bit with the shaping, but you really just want to get it even because you're going to sponge it. You know what I'm saying? Just get it even enough. You don't have to make it all perfect. You don't got to make it look like the number 7 on a barber poster. You know what I'm saying? So right now, cleaning him off, because we pretty much done. The only thing we got to do is put a line on him, and we out of there. Put a line on him, and we out of there. Now within this video, I believe I did take out some of the most annoying parts where my elbow was in there, but pretty much got him in and out of there in about 30 minutes. Cleaning them up. Detail works, yeah, as y'all see the skip. Detail work, right? Detail work is when you just going over the haircut, you're looking at the fade, you go over the haircut, you checking out, and you're looking for imperfections. The best way to perfect your fade, right, is to, when you look at your fade, look for flaws. Don't look at it and marvel at how good it looks. Look at it and find out what's wrong with it. That's the best way to perfect your fade. Find out what's wrong with your fade. If you can't find anything wrong with that fade, then that fade is done. That's how you know it's done. If you can't find, oh, I see a line right here. Oh, I'm just cleaning the hair off right there, just knocking the hair out. But if you're looking at your fade and you say, oh, I see a line, well, it's not done. Clean it up, because the compliments is in the detail. Think about this, new barbers. If you cut someone's hair, right? I'm going to show y'all something too. I'm going to show y'all another move too. When you wet the hair, this is why you want to have detail within your fade. I'm going to show you in a second. Just pay attention to the fade. But when you cut someone's hair, right, and they go outside, what you want as a barber is you want other people to see that fade and ask that person, hey, who cut your hair? You see what I'm saying? Because word of mouth is what's going to really get you more customers. Word of mouth going to get you more customers than a lot of different ways to advertise. So you want people to see that fade, and you want people to, marvel at it in a sense. So now I put the gel in his hair, and now I'm sponging it up, right? But if you notice, sometimes when people get their hair wet after a cut, it doesn't really look the same. I don't know if any of you guys ever noticed that. It doesn't all the way look the same. So what I like to do sometimes is, when I do put any type of moisturization in my client's head, is look at the fade. As you see, I'm brushing it. Shouts out to my man Supreme. You know what I'm saying? Supreme Supreme Cuts on Instagram. So I'm brushing his fade, right? That's his brush, by the way. And I'm just looking for imperfections. I'm looking for imperfections. I'm looking for what's wrong with the fade, right? And I'm sure that some of you guys already see it right where I'm going. Right where I'm going. I see some weight on there. Let's go and get that up out of there and smooth that fade out. Let's go and smooth it out. Listen, the compliments is in the detail, okay? If you are detailed about your work and you take pride in your work, people will see. Remember that. If you do not take pride in your work, people will see. If you just cut hair just for money, people will see that reflect in your work. Okay? If you love what you do and you truly love what you do, guess what? People will see that reflect in your work. Okay? So don't think people ain't noticing that your fade crooked or your lines are crooked or, you got a choppy fades and you know what I'm saying? Scars all on the neck because your clippers is too sharp. You know what I'm saying? People will see. And people will say, hey, man, I don't know about your barber, dog. So you got to keep in mind, man, if you wouldn't rock that cut, don't let nobody else rock it. I'm hoping I'm making sense to you guys, But once again, Shy The Barber, thanks for watching. And like, comment, subscribe.